Reinvention is the key to overcome new challenges and keep growing. Welcome to South Summit 2020. A new networking platform with a revolutionary live TV format to access and connect from any device, anytime, and anywhere. Join South Summit 2020 and multiply your business opportunities.
Welcome everyone to this year's South Summit edition. We're now going to start with our track on Legaltech. For this Legaltech track, what's really exciting is that we're talking about the Legaltech Venture Day Final. So in addition to some exciting content and some startups, we got some amazing speakers. At the same time, we're going to take advantage of this track to do the International Venture Days of IE Business School in terms of their final, and we're going to see a couple of very exciting startups. So let's begin. I'm going to start by introducing Soledad Atienza. Soledad Atienza is Dean of IE Law School, and Anon Lehavi, who's co-president of the Law School's Global League and Dean of the Law School of IDC Herzliya, presenting the Legaltech Venture Day Final. IE and IDC Herzliya are active members of the Law School's Global League, and they've created this global legal tech competition in partnership with the law firm Untitled. Now, this competition has been amazing. It's gone to all over the world. It's been to Turin, it's been to Sao Paulo, it's been to London, it's been to Sydney. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the London edition, where it was amazing to see so many of these startups in legal tech in London compete. We now have 4 winners, and they will be competing for the Best Global Legal Tech Innovation Award. So with that, let's begin. Join me, Soledad. Thank you. Please, grab a seat.
Hello, Paris.
So, Soledad, I've been doing competitions for a long time, and it's only recently that we've been starting to hear about legal tech. What is legal tech, and since when did technology get involved in the legal sector?
Well, Paris, I would say that in this unprecedented time of changes, also the legal profession and the provision of legal services is undergoing a large transformation. And this transformation is due to different reasons. One of them is that the way that legal services are provided is now including a larger use of digital tools and a larger use of technology, both in the way law firms and in-house legal departments are run and managed, also in the use of artificial intelligence, but also in the sense that the legal advice, the legal areas that clients are now demanding lawyers and law firms for advice are focused in helping companies and enterprises transform into a more digital and a more technical-oriented companies and enterprises. In addition, I would mention, for example, the digital transformation that the public administration is going through. Think of the way courts are being run, the way the judiciary is also now implementing the use of digital and technology to provide, to administer justice and to provide legal services. So in the long term, this digitalization and deeper use of technology will help and will benefit the clients, it will benefit the legal profession, and it will benefit society because it will be easier and it will be more accessible for citizens and enterprises and companies around the world to access to these kind of legal services.
Okay, interesting. Now, during COVID-19, has the legal industry been affected much?
I would say that this situation that is transforming the economy, that is transforming society, that is transforming the legal market, is obviously having an impact in the legal service, but everything that the legal market, that legal services providers are now learning, everything that they are implementing is probably their tools, their ways of managing, that are here to stay. This situation has only made legal tech and the use of technology for the provision of legal services go faster and deeper and has only pushed a transformation that was already going on.
And finally, Soledad, I mean, we're here at a competition. Why a competition? How did you guys come up with this idea? I mean, I think it's great, but I don't think too many law schools are doing like competitions on, legal startups. Why?
Well, Paris, this competition was launched 2 years ago by a group of very innovative and internationally focused law schools that founded the Law Schools Global League, where over 20 law schools around the world gathered to push a more global legal education practice. And the Law Schools Global League came up with this idea of a competition in order to attract talent around legal tech. So this year we've had 4 regional competitions to invite the most talented and the best startups in legal tech. One of them in Italy, in the University of Turin, one of them in Australia, in the University of New South Wales, in King's College London, and in Brazil, in FGV, Fundación Getúlio Vargas. And I see also the president of the Law Schools Global League, Amnon Lehavi, has joined us today and will also be participating in this event.
Okay, thank you, Soledad. Welcome, Amnon Lehavi. Yes, I see you're president of this amazing league that's brought together all these law schools. So I think we're about to begin. Thank you. So we're now going to get into the competition. And as you know, you guys probably know by heart what the competition rules are here, but we have certain criteria. One of them is innovation, scalability, team, viability, and investability. We're going to give out 2 awards today. One for the Global Legal Tech Innovation 2020, and then like I mentioned earlier, we're doing the IE Venture Days 2020 Awards. So let's begin. First, I want to tell you about the prizes that we're going to be offering today. Both winners will have a unique 1-week entrepreneurial experience by IE University. This is like a 1-week program with investors, professors, and the like. Also, the winners of the Legal Tech Startup will also win a scholarship in the Masters in Legal Tech, which includes a week in Silicon Valley and at the Codex Stanford Law and a week in Israel, which is really, really exciting. So now that we know the rules, now that we know the prizes, let's begin. We're going to have 4 Legal Tech and 2 from Venture Days. So now let me talk to you about our amazing jury. In our jury, we have Alejandro Turino, who's director of the Masters in Legal Tech at IE Law School, managing partner at ESIJA. We also have Joaquin Munoz, head of digital law at Ontier, which is one of the partners of the 2 schools in terms of this competition. We also have Amnon Lehavi, that we just heard of earlier. He's co-president of the Law Schools Global League. We have Rodolfo Carpentier, which I don't think needs much introduction here in Spain, one of our top angel investors and serial entrepreneurs. We also have Luis Patiño, investment associate at Draper B1 Venture Capital. We have Pedro Fernandez, partner at Perez Lorca. So here we are. Oh, and finally we have Gonzalo Tradacete from Faraday. He's managing director at Faraday. All right, let's get the show on the road. Our first startup is called Resolve Disputes Online. The pitcher is Joe Al-Kayat, co-founder. It is based in Sydney, Australia. The startup does dispute resolution software as a service, empowering ADR experts, courts, tribunals with innovative technology that improve access to justices around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Resolve Disputes Online.
On behalf of RDO, a delight to be here today for this presentation. The mission of RDO, as was mentioned in the introduction, is to make justice effortless and accessible. And the reason for that is pretty simple. There is a huge issue that still exists in relation to access to justice. We've got the 4 billion people that live outside the shelter of the law. The time and the cost to resolve a dispute is very significant in time as well as impact. The big 5 jurisdictions have a low satisfaction rate of the court process, and there's a high impact on mental health, jobs and relationships there, 44%. On a more operational level, there is a significant impact when we look at the process between an end user, say a business in Spain or Australia or the UK, and the court and the mediator. There's a quagmire of complexity, and the idea behind RDO is to simplify that. It's to provide our technology to those courts and mediators to empower them. We're essentially the Salesforce of dispute resolution. We customize and scale our tool for different disputes, jurisdictions, and caseloads. And when we look at our leadership team, we're a team of ex-lawyers, UN justice leaders, legal technologists from the likes of Thomson Reuters and LexisNexis, and more recently, a UK government court advisor has joined the RDO team. So we're a wonderful mix of lawyers and legal tech entrepreneurs and technologists. The global trends at the moment are that from Australia to the UK to Africa to the Middle East, there is digitalization of the court process, which has only been compounded, of course, by the COVID-19 pandemic. So to summarize what RDO is, we license our tech stack to mediators and courts, and that offers an end-to-end case management, audit trail, evidence sharing, end-to-end encrypted communications, settlement and judgment technology, as well as the ability to measure KPIs of your court or your mediation service. So how does it work? Well, imagine this is an RDO scenario with a customer who is onboarding the various parties and the mediator into a case. Once the mediator onboards the parties into the case, the mediator can narrow the issues, explore the drivers that are moving this dispute by sending questionnaires and other information requests. Parties can digitally sign documents, so it's an end-to-end process online, encrypted messaging and video and audio technology for the mediation or arbitration. And then you have the ability for the settlements to be struck on the tool and digitally signed in that way. Some other examples, in an employment dispute here in Asia, we can see that there's an unpaid wages claim, which is being negotiated on the tool. Similarly, in the United States, we're dealing with an online traffic trial. There's the ability to draft out their judgment and enter a pro forma of key information on the trial and view key case information, as well as exporting the outcome of the case to a court order. There's AI mediator technology that RDO has built. So Molly is our resident AI mediator. She has the ability to take offers from parties. She can use her intelligence to be able to assess whether there's good prospects or not. If there's good prospects, she can disclose the offer to both of the disputing parties in this landlord and tenant case, and then she can upload a draft settlement that she's drafted, the parties can look at and the parties can digitally sign. So it's an end-to-end process. In terms of the back end, a court or a mediator can see how many users, how many cases, how many lawyers are on their tool. They can see the case categories or the resolution splits on their service. And they can also see how many minutes people are spending registering cases, or indeed how long a case takes to resolve from registration to solution. Our tool is configurable. Negotiation, mediation, arbitration can be turned on or off, which has helped our scalability. You can add case categories. You can add different terms and conditions or different content on your platform. And you can even add new feedback questionnaires. What's really cool about RDO is the fact that we've been able to make traction pretty quickly. With this huge market that we have, it's a 3 billion size market. We are on course for 500K of revenue for this year. And if we look at our competition, they're big government court solutions. They're not able to innovate as quickly as we are. We're a specialist in what we do, and our feature-to-feature comparison tends to score higher than our competitors. We won the Thomson Reuters Prize for Access to Justice last year, and more recently we were successful as well in the Legal Access Challenge and received funding from the UK government. And only last week we were awarded the UK government's SME dispute resolution platform service, winning from 17 global bids. Now, moving on from what RDO has as its secret sauce, it's its international client base. It was a first mover. It's our configurability, and that's our thought leadership. We were keynoters at the American Bar Conference last year. Now, RDO has received recognition from the UN, the Singapore government, the UK government. It's received recognition from a UK customer, the Canadian government, the Jewish Dispute Center of New York, and the US Center for State Courts, where RDO is now a vendor of the US state courts.
Okay, we're running out of time.
RDO's pricing is really simple. RDO's pricing is really simple. You've got a setup fee, you've got a case credit fee for it's a usage fee. And coming to the end, our partners, Thomson Reuters, Microsoft, Australian National Blockchain, and various Asian and UK government bodies. And finally, our journey to date has been from MVP in 2018 to the current day. We've had coverage from the United Nations, we've got customers in 7 different countries, and our funding round is just started, where we'll be looking to scale sales and marketing and also build out facets of our AI mediator technology. Thank you for listening.
Okay, well, we heard it. RDO. RDO were the winners of the Legaltech Venture Day in Australia with the University of New South Wales and Allen's Hub. All right, jury. We got a jury here that's face-to-face, and we also have virtual jury. Do we have any questions for RDO? Pedro.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations. I would love that your solution is implemented here in Spain, but you know, typically the process rules are compulsory rules. I mean, you have to follow them, and if you want to change them, you need to change the law. So, and in each country, it's completely different, sorry. For example, it doesn't have any relationship, the type of procedure that you can see in Delaware. I don't know how it's in Australia or in Madrid, no? How easy is for you to implement your solution to these different, completely different procedures? Thinking more in terms of the courts, and how keen are they going to be, you know, thinking in dinosaurs like the Spanish administration, that, you know, everything is still in paper, you know, to jump into this? Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take the last question first. Thank you so much for the questions. In terms of change management, it's always difficult when you're trying to get governments to see what might be a better way of doing things. But with COVID-19, obviously that has been very much accelerated. So we've noticed a huge uptake in interest in the technology, in the need to do virtual hearings, but also because of the backlogs of cases. Given the pains that governments are suffering now with case backlogs, they're looking for alternative dispute resolution tools which can do things online like ours, which enables those backlogs to be addressed. So I think need and adoption is becoming an awful lot easier because of those two issues. Addressing the questions in relation to different rules and procedures that may exist in different jurisdictions. Now, mediation and negotiation typically are jurisdiction agnostic, as you'll know. They tend to follow a consistent workflow, and that workflow is something that we already have within the RDO technology, but is also configurable if there do need to be nuances in timings or procedure for a mediation process. So, for example, in some jurisdictions, such as Italy, a digital signature would need to be undertaken on a certain platform. So RDO can export a settlement to that platform to allow that settlement to be undertaken. But generally speaking, those process flows for negotiation and mediation and jurisdiction are agnostic. Arbitration, slightly more tricky because of the prescribed rules that tend to exist in that process. But we have a workflow builder now, which you saw some very quick examples of, where we can build timings of when witness statements need to be sent in, when evidence needs to be sent in, and those become clearly notified and communicated on the platform. So hopefully that addresses some of the questions that you asked.
Okay, thank you, Joe. Moving right along, let's go to our next startup. Our next startup is called Sliding Life, and it's represented by Massimiliano Arena, CEO of Sliding Life. They are from Turin, Italy, and they were the winners in the Venture Day celebrated with the University of Turin and Legal Hackers. So what does Sliding Life do? Sliding Life provides a national list of professionals useful for people involved in a divorce. Is that why it's called Sliding Life? We'll soon find out. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming Sliding Life. Massimiliano, can you hear me?
I hear you. Hi, everybody.
Okay, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Paris, and big pleasure to be here. So we can go with our pitch and our slide. Okay, I'm a lawyer. I'm a divorce lawyer, and I'm a CEO and founder of Sliding Life. This is an innovative startup with a social mission. In Apple's last commercial, there is a person going through a divorce repeating twice, "I've been looking for a lawyer on 8 different websites." It is common knowledge that the most important things are said for. This indisputably marks a trend on market on the objectives that Sliding Life is following. Here we are in the future, and for us, for Sliding Life, it is the present. In Europe, in this very precise moment, there are 1.5 million couples that are splitting up and looking for services from among 2 million professionals, lawyers, psychologists, accountants, and coaches. The potential market for offered or requested services is about $10.4 billion. But for us, those who are going through a divorce are not only a market potential. Our mission goes well beyond. We address them in such a way that they are never going to face a family crisis alone, especially when such turmoil tends to hit the children, who can then turn easily into problematic adults. Which are the problems that separate people meet? Confusion, with the need of clear information and professional support. Timing, between administrative and practical factors, a cause of separation lasts too long for a person's life. And cause, a divorce is something only for the wealthy. It can cost up to about 5,000 euros each. Sliding Life Solutions, the divorce hub, where the individual has all the means to plan the next steps of his or her separation. Moreover, there is a community of mutual support to confront with others and ask advice. Online consulting enables the clients to contact professionals outside the personal bubble in a way that makes it possible to protect every person's privacy, an issue particularly sensitive for our target. Our fixed and transparent pricing grants a reduction of about 80% of costs. Furthermore, we propose parenting, a family manager to arrange expensive visiting schedules and the publishing of photos of minors on social networks. An online divorce where all the practice and completion of the forms are carried out entirely on the web. The maintenance allowance to predict on time what must be given to or received by the ex-partner in case of divorce. This is what makes us different from the competitors, who usually have only one slice of the services that Sliding Life can offer in a unique hub. Our business model is divided between B2C and B2B, with a monthly or yearly subscription model for B2B customers and a freemium method with app purchases for B2B ones. We have developed our other revenue channels with strategic partnership in Europe, such as Casavo, a booming real estate startup, C3, a platform to find babysitters, and Super Papa, a community with more than 300,000 active fathers. Speaking about our acquisition and our roadmap, our milestone is up to 300,000 clients in Europe by June 2023. Our vision, Sliding Life looks at the future with the development of a predictive justice software that will predict the outcome of a lawsuit and of several aspects of divorce, such as cause of assignment, placement of children, separation charges. We will cross data from all Italian and European courts in order to predict geographical trends, giving more and more information to divorcees. We are going to transform the divorce into a smart contract registered in a blockchain and paid by Bitcoin. Digital Magic has recently joined our governance. It is the largest business incubator in Italy with 66 companies in its portfolio, and it is leading us up to the next 600K round in 2021. And this is how, in this slide, the funding will be invested. This is our very young team. I'm very proud of all of them. They are people, guys, girls, and men who decide to stay in the South Italy because we are proud to be of South Italy. Business is an infinite game, quoting Simon Sinek, and to make it so, we need a team that trusts our just case. This is the Sliding Life team. I would like to finish just saying that if 2020 is the Black Lives Matter year, we support it, and at the same time, we're working for the parents' lives matter. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. So you can say you saw it first at the South Summit. a startup that's going to help you get a divorce using AI. Imagine that. All right, jury members, what do you think? Who's got some questions, virtual world or face-to-face? Pedro.
At least I understand the business.
Oh, tell us about it.
I mean, just if I can know a little deeper about how do you try to predict with your algorithm the outcome of the trade? What is the judge going to say? I guess in addition, what it would be reasonable to request for any lawyers who knows, the matter, because, typically in a criminal or in a civil lawsuit, it's quite binary. It's yes or no, you win, you lose, and which is the amount. But, in a divorce, the variables involved are much higher. You have the custody, you have the amounts given to one party to the other, to the custody. I don't know if this is part of your system or it's just a question of amount.
Thank you so much for the question, Pedro. You killed the problem in a deeply way. You're right. For the amount of the money the parents have to give each other for the children is not a big problem because the algorithm systems are very good now, and we are using one software. As regards for house assignment, children custody, or holidays with a mother or father, we are going to check all the past 10 years sentence decision of the Italian courts, and then we are putting out our outcomes. So we divide in home assignment, holidays, and visiting schedules, and the type of custody. And so we can have a prediction of what this judge can decide.
Okay, thank you. Do we have another question from our jury? Come on, you're not going to get another chance to see a startup that deals with divorces, are you? No questions? Speechless. Thank you, Pedro. All right, let's move along. Our next startup is called Just Access. Represented by Sophie Walker, CEO of Just Access. It's based in London, England, and it was the winner of the King's College Venture Day with IE that they did earlier this year. They also did it with Legal Hackers. What does Just Access do? This nonprofit legal tech startup harnesses technology in order to overcome barriers accessing justice and advocates for a more and open, transparent justice. Join me in welcoming Just Access.
I set up Just Access back in 2016, and at the time I was working as a legal aid lawyer. And I was specializing working for people who had been convicted for crimes they didn't commit and were serving prison sentences. The one bit of information I needed that would have made all the difference in their case would have been a trial transcript setting out what happened, and most importantly, what didn't happen on their case. And yet this was the thing I couldn't get hold of. It cost huge amounts of money, tens of thousands of pounds. And not being able to access it posed a real barrier to my representing them. And normally when something like this happens, I would sue someone, normally the government if I can at any point. But I realized that actually the fix here wasn't litigation, it was technology. And I looked around, saw that no one else was doing this, and decided to do something about it. So let me tell you about the very unsexy world of transcription. Legal processes still rely on spoken words, particularly in courtrooms, and yet personal recordings of what happened is prohibited. So this means that it's hard for a litigant on their own case to access information, but it's also an issue for open justice. It's a problem that members of the public can't understand what's happening in their courtrooms or what may have happened on similar cases. And that the information that is out there is locked behind a paywall or is primarily, the guardians of that information are one or two very large companies. We want to try and disrupt that. So we're trying to revolutionize the court transcription industry. And I know what you're thinking. You have heard today from companies who are doing incredibly sexy things with AI. And you're thinking, why am I sitting here hearing about transcription? But see, I have this theory. And it's that in the least sexy areas, you can find true change. And that's what our transformation of legal transcription is all about. Our plan is to take technology that's ubiquitous, that's in your mobile phones, that's speech-to-text technology, and place it in the courtroom, thereby allowing a huge amount more information from the courtroom to flow into the public domain. First, we're starting by making justice data more accessible, and we work collaboratively to do that. We work with the big legal publishers, but also with the UK government. We work with the third sector, and we work with researchers. Stage 2 is by structuring that data and creating a steady stream of that data, we'll be able to identify unparalleled insights for AI and ML and ensure that better understanding of what happens in our courtrooms. And we think that there is a need for this, not only in the private sector, but most significantly in the government and the regulatory sector. Thinking at the moment of the huge transformations that's ongoing in our courts due to coronavirus, due to the lockdown, understanding exactly the impact of changes within our legal system are having on litigants is so important. And the first thing we need to do is identify the data, and this is what we are on a mission to do. So to show you a little bit more about our tech stack, we understand that when you are using public legal information, that comes with a great responsibility. So we have built in an important governance layer to ensure there is anonymization of party names and any other information that may allow for parties' identities to be exposed. We then ensure that the data is appropriately structured and that it connects seamlessly with our customers, which would be the courts, the publishers, the researchers, and in fact, some of the other legal tech companies that are pitching today would probably be interested also. So this is where we see the gap in the market. While there are lots of people building beautiful AI tools, they lack the data, which is the machine for these tools. And this is what we're looking to do. And what's so important is making sure that the data that these machines run off are a full set. If you're running only on a partial set of data, it's going to skew your AI, thereby risking further discrimination. We want to tackle this head on by making sure that that we're using as full a data set as possible to avoid skewing legal decisions or skewing the advice that people receive from these tools.
We need to wrap up quickly.
Well, I will. Let me tell you where we are headed in that case. So we were awarded an Innovate UK grant from the British government, and we've been working with Vodafone, who are delivering a video platform for the justice sector. We've been designing that platform with Vodafone, and that is going to be that is being rolled out shortly. What this shows is that while we're able to work on small products, that we understand our users, we understand the information flow, but we can also stand shoulder to shoulder with some of the biggest corporations around. And that, I think, will make the difference for our organization being able to scale. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sophie. All right, you heard it. I mean, we've got now another legal tech startup with AI in it. So, jury members.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sophie. So a couple of quick questions. First of all, public accessibility of transcripts. Is it a matter of technology or judicial policy? How do you use technology to alleviate institutional reluctance to make those records publicly available? Second question has to do with language more generally. Think about people with an immigrant background who need to understand a transcript. Now, obviously, an official translation into another language is a very costly thing. How will your startup use technology to lower down the cost of having an effective translations for people who really need it in order to have their day in court? Thank you.
Thank you. That first question about judicial reluctance is a fantastic one. And it is definitely, those of us who are working on the intersection between technology and the court system know it well. So my strategy is this. I make the technology as simple as possible. I make the use cases as compelling as possible. And I make the ground in which the judges are standing on to say no as small as possible. And by doing so, I think you are able to show that technology companies can be trusted, that we have responsible policies, and that we are out to do good. And I think what's important is those things are no longer taken for granted. I think we have to prove that that is the case. And so it has to be a partnership. But great question. And it's always something I'm looking to improve on, is how I manage that tension. Your second one, in terms of language translation, there is technology that allows to automate translation, but my view is it's pretty shoddy. I don't think it's very good yet, and I would be nervous of totally automating the process by which someone would understand their judgment. I think that people and translators are still important, so I wouldn't want to totally automate that process. So I would back away from the implication you make in your question.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, moving right along. We got one more startup from the Legal Venture Days. This one is based in Brazil, Sao Paulo. It's called Jewett Io, and it is from the Venture Day with the Fundación Getúlio Vargas and Legal Hackers. What Jewett does is it's an online platform that allows legal practitioners to work smarter using technology as a bridge to ease their work. Join me in welcoming Deoclides Neto, the founder and CEO of Jewett Io. Deoclides, the floor is yours.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you are safe and sound in Madrid. I know that things are not easy as it was about a month ago, so I hope everything's fine. And I'm starting my pitch right now. So, hi, my name is Deoclides, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Jewett, a legal tech company from Brazil, founded 2 years ago, and we are solving one of the biggest challenges of the legal sector: the time spent by lawyers to understand the legal perspective of their clients' business demands and the risks involved. And this is how the problem unfolds. One, lawyers receive a demand from a client. Let's say Cabify approaches a lawyer stating, I hire independent contractors to deliver my services. Is there any labor risk? Two, the lawyers must build knowledge for that specific subject. And three, lawyers finally advise their clients. The problem here is the second step, which is very time consuming. It relies on translating business demand to legal jargon and then doing lots and lots of research to finally consolidate a conclusion. This is a problem because here in Brazil, you have to find information among 300 million cases spread in 93 court websites and more than 40,000 law acts. It's a needle in a haystack. So the build knowledge step, it's the villain of the legal sector. And all of those research steals 20% of a lawyer's time. These numbers prove how much is wasted yearly with the tasks. So to enhance productivity, we developed Jewett Humor, a legal research one-stop shop based on two concepts. First, one-click legal analytics over a gazillion jurisprudence, and also a blazing fast unified search engine for decisions, legislation, and doctrine. Let's see how it works. In our example, imagine that the lawyer of Cabify runs a typical research, having almost 20,000 results returned. Who would read all that? I wouldn't, but with just one click, boom, you got the lawyers has all the analytics needed to make a data-driven decision. And you want to narrow down the results based on proprietary AI, our smart filters can reduce 20,000 results to just 200 after 3 simple clicks. This is just 1% of the original results, and it's where the lawyers must focus. Again, one more click and suddenly all data is refreshed, blazing fast and showing a convenient scenario for companies like Cabify to operate here in Brazil. So our value proposition is to enable lawyers to do more, to know more by reading less, to build knowledge as fast as possible, and to give back time to focus on what truly matters. And this whole new experience brings extraordinary results. One client struggled for 4 months to find a legal precedent until he signed for Rimmer. Then in 15 minutes, he solved his problem. And it gets better because, on average, our clients find what they need in less than 6 minutes. Those KPIs show how fast we are growing. More than 1,000 users, and we grew 4 times during this pandemic, more than 10,000 searches in the last 30 days, and about 15 logins per month per user. And this is just the beginning because we can reach more than 2 million people between lawyers and law students. Brazilian's legal market is one of the biggest of the world. And as you can see, we are the only one among our competitors that works both as a legal analytics platform and a search engine. We combine both of the best of both worlds in just one, with fair pricing, ease of use, free content upgrades, and all of that while being fast and efficient. If you pick one of our competitors, you will need to choose between having a vast amount of decisions with low quality or a few number of judgments with better quality. Never both, unless you decide to go with us. And what makes us better than others? Our custom-built AI has almost 99% of accuracy classifying legal documents. We also have a legal relevance recommender showing important precedents up front, and an award-winning data architecture, creating a hugely scalable business model. Remember that 2 million potential customers, multiply them by $5 a month, and you can see how reliable the business model is. And I am not even talking about the upgrades. We also serve law firms from $50 monthly with much more robust plans. All that was designed by a small team led by me and Marcio, our CTO. And before founding Jewett, I worked with data analysis for about 10 years, and I held a bachelor's degree in law school. Marcio is a computer scientist with more than 20 years of experience in developing digital products. And we have already collected some awards in our journey, like Neo4j Graphy Awards on unstructured data. The next step is to raise our second round, focusing on indexing all courts to scale revenue by opening new markets. And why now? First, lawyers in Brazil are just starting to buy SaaS subscription. Second, and most importantly, coronavirus turned the legal sector upside down by eliminating the work by the hour in Brazil, demanding every lawyer to do more in less time. We are Jewett, and we deliver all the Brazilian legal knowledge in just one place. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, you heard it. That was our last legal tech startup, people. So this is your last chance, jury. Do we have any questions from our physical jury or our virtual jury? Looks like we're back to the physical. Pedro, it's good to be back.
Hi. Well, first of all, I'm not a litigator, so I'm not so used as some of my colleagues, maybe, to search for jurisprudence or court sentences. But, I mean, for me, from your pitch, is key to understand, how comes the magic, because the first part of your speech is more linked to what we can find in a normal legal database that all the law firms have, But then we see your dash panel where there is a synthesis of all these core sentences, and you get the key. Typically when you do it manually, you do it searching by words or by group of words. And what's the difference with your?
Here, if I understand your question, it's what's the difference of doing the research on a legal database, right?
Yeah.
Oh, if it's that, here in Brazil we have 93 courts with more than 150 systems, different systems. So we don't have a unified legal database. There is some interventions from the National Council of Justice, but they do not obligate courts to unify their legal research. So the difference to do the search in our database, I mean the court's database, is that you have just one window for the whole judiciary system in Brazil. So we make searches really faster, because with AI we were able to create synonyms, and you say for each word, so you save time by typing less and finding more straight results for what you need. And as you can see, with one click, you got the whole analytics for the whole judiciary system, not only your lawsuits. You can see everything, and not just your small world, as we say here in Brazil. So this is the difference. It's a dramatically improve of productivity, and we save tons and tons of times of lawyers, because we are unifying doctrine, legislation, and jurisprudence in just one single database.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, well, that does it for our legal tech startups. We've had 4 amazing legal tech startups, and pretty soon you're going to find out from all these incredible places all over the world who the winner is. But before we do that, I promised you we'd be looking at 2 International Venture Day finalists. And we're going to start now with the first one. This first one is based in New York City, and it was our Marketing Tech Venture Day, MarTech Venture Day. The company is called MarPipe, and representing it is Daniel Panello, who's the CEO of MarPipe. Now, what do? They are the first platform that enables multivariate testing to empower your creative performance with data. Join me in welcoming Daniel.
All right, guys. My name is Dan Mantello. I'm coming to you from New York City. I'm the founder of MarPipe. And today, we can learn a little bit something together about marketing. And what I want to talk to you more specifically about is when you look at ad creative and you see the pictures and videos that make up the ads, is it an art or is it a science? Today, I'm going to show you how it's actually a science as opposed to an art. So when it comes to advertising performance, the single most important element to advertising success, more important than audience targeting, than branding, than even the amount of people that you reach all combined, is the actual creative, the actual visual stimuli that you show people in ads, like the colors and the symbols and the font and where even the words appear. All of that, when changed, has a tremendous impact on performance. And so with creative being so important, how is it that we actually make creative decisions? How do we decide what our creative looks like? Well, actually, it's exactly what you think it is. There's no magic trick to it. We kind of just make things that look cool and then run them and see if they work. It's really a glorified process of guessing and checking. If you go to some of the highest creative directors at the best agencies or some of the best digital marketers at the best in-house teams and you ask them, how do you decide what your ads look like? No one's going to give you a good answer to it because everyone's really just guessing and checking. And the thing is, we're actually pretty bad at guessing. Over 90% of ads that are launched actually are turned off within the first few days because they don't perform well. So the best that we can come to when it comes to actually trying to test our creative and understand what works and doesn't is A/B testing. When we launch 2 separate ads in the same environment and we can see which one does better or worse than the other one. So here with A/B testing, which is the current best practice in the industry, we can only learn about which ad works better, but we can never learn why. To understand why our ad creative actually works, we can actually, with multivariate testing, engage in a process that narrows in and breaks apart the exact variables that people love or hate most in our creative. As you can see here in this example, the purple background increases the purchase conversion rate of this ad by 35% when compared to other background colors that were tested in this piece of creative. So when we can break apart the different variants that actually influence performance, we can learn what people love to see or most hate to see in our ad creative. And using that kind of data, we can actually construct creative that we know will work better from a data-driven process, and we won't be stuck in the Mad Men days anymore. So if this is so great, how come you haven't heard of multivariate testing and why isn't everyone doing it? Well, because it's totally impractical to do as a methodology. To actually execute on this, you're going to need to spend 2 to 3 days of a dedicated creative agency team building hundreds of ads for you. You're going to need to have a dedicated campaign team spend several days launching and running all those ads. And you're going to need a dedicated data science team to actually analyze the component results of all that and pull it apart. So today, it's only accessible to Fortune 500 who can actually afford to throw all this money and people at the problem. With Marpipe, we completely automated the entire process and made it incredibly easy for everyone to do. So the entire process, all the steps involved in the workflow of multivariate testing, all just take a few minutes now with our platform. Here's how it works. So when you log into our platform, we have a multivariate creative ad builder. And all you need to do is upload some of your visual brand assets like background colors or product images or even value propositions for your service. And we instantly generate a perfect multivariate grid of hundreds of ads. You don't need to be a graphic designer. Even lawyers can log into Marpipe and create hundreds of incredible, well-performing ads. Then, when it comes to actually launching them, we can actually connect it to our, this is Facebook Business Manager. What you're seeing here is where what the back end looks like of running ads on Facebook. And we can connect it to Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube display, and we can instantly launch these ads across some of the most popular advertising networks in a perfectly set up multivariate test. And then once we gather the data on and each of the ads is shown enough times to enough people, we can actually isolate the variables inside of our creative and understand what products in our creative, what imagery people love or hate to see the most. So now with multivariate testing, we can reduce our customer acquisition cost by half. We can cut our customer acquisition cost in half within just the first few weeks. Whether you're spending just a few $100s a week on advertising creative, or whether you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you're paying money to show ad creative to people, multivariate testing is a good idea for you and will increase your performance. One of the things that's innovative about our model is that anyone can go to marpipe.com, sign in, and get started for free. No talking to some sales rep or whatever it might be. You can get started on our freemium model. And this is partially why we're growing at a rate of right now around 100 new companies per week, getting started with multivariate testing and now testing the internet. Now, this is one of those products that you might think, why doesn't this exist already? That's exactly what was thought by Adobe, MediaMath, and some of the other most advanced investors in the marketing technology space. And it's exactly why we have companies like PepsiCo, Mars, Tubi, and Segment jumping on board to get started working with Marpipe. We raised a $1.8 million seed round last December. We are currently in Q3 doubling our revenue month over month, and we're raising our Series A in Q1. So if you're interested in having a conversation, reach out. But also, if you're running ads for any of your legal tech startups to grow your customer base, be sure to visit marpipe.com. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you. Can this guy sell or what? All right, guys, here we are. What's it going to be? Physical world or virtual world? Q&A time. Rodolfo Carpentier, the floor is yours.
Can you please explain the business model? I mean, how you charge the customer and what is at the moment what you're selling? I mean, what volume of business are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So to get started and create an account, upload your creative assets and make hundreds of ads without using any creative or designers, this is actually permanently free. This is something that people are charging for, but we're putting in front of people for free just to get adoption. Now, when you want to actually launch a test and analyze the results, that costs just $250 a month. And then you might be a large enterprise that might be like, you know what, Dan, I don't want to do the testing myself. I don't want my team to worry about it. I just want you and your team of experts to do it for us. Well, in that case, we can talk about our enterprise plans, which start at 5K, but range all the way up to 10K. And right now, we have large enterprises paying us between that range to actually handle the entire multivariate creative testing process for them. And all we do is just tell them, here's what people love about your ads, here's what they hate about them, and here's what you should do next. So that's kind of how it works. It starts freemium, then a subscription plan that's just a few $100 a month, and then there's the enterprise.
Okay, thank you. One more question here from the jury. No more questions. Okay, moving right along. All right, and now our final startup for today. As I said, these are International Venture Days. The latest one the next one is from Germany, and it was for our Sustainability Venture Day. It is called Smart Cloud Farming, and it's represented by Suvarit Saha, who's the co-founder of Smart Cloud Funding. Smart Cloud Funding is an ag tech startup that specializes in advancing soil analytics. If you want to get down to earth, this is it. Ag tech, soil analytics. Join me in welcoming Smart Cloud Farming.
A very good day to everyone at the South Summit from Berlin. My name is Subrajit. I'm one of the co-founders at Smart Cloud Farming, and we do advanced soil analytics using remote sensing. When you hear about soil, the first thought that comes to most people's minds is dirt. However, soil is not dirt. Soil is an asset. It maintains life on Earth, provides us with our food, stores carbon, and maintains the biodiversity. This very valuable asset is actually managed very badly, as a result of which we're losing large tracts of fertile land every year, and with it land to grow our food on. And this has a huge price, $300 billion in 2019. So why is this so? Why are soils managed so badly? The answer is very simple: because of lack of quality soil data and suitable digital applications to manage soils. At Smart Cloud Farming, we decided to change this by building the very first analytics-driven soil management dashboard using remote sensing and 3D soil analytics. How is soil management carried out today? You do soil analysis, and for that you need to prepare a field, collect the soil samples, transport them to a lab, and get the analysis done. Now, this is not just slow and costly, but it is also error-prone. It is non-digital. It is dependent on weather, because you cannot carry out soil analysis when soils are frozen or the fields are flooded. As a result of this is extremely manual. Our solution are 3D digital soil maps that provide our customers with soil information up to 90 centimeters below the surface. We have 3D soil moisture maps, we have 3D soil carbon maps, and we have 3D soil nutrient maps. And the benefits that our customers get are that they get fast, accurate, and a lab-free analysis of their soils without any soil sampling. They get an API integration that allows them to automate farm processes, and they get a continuous and global availability. The customer segments we're targeting are business to business, like agribusinesses and cooperatives, fertilizer companies, NGOs focused on soils, and futures traders, and the business to government, especially in the European Union, the paying agencies. The value propositions we deliver are, for one, better economics because of higher yields thanks to improved soil fertility, lower costs due to fewer soil sensors, time savings, and transparency in regulatory compliance. Our business model is information as a service. So we have our core product, digital soil maps, and besides that, we have value-added services like carbon monitoring, land evaluation, and customized fertilizer profiles. Our competition comes from remote sensing companies offering 2D soil maps, and from sensor-based companies that offer a hardware-centric soil profiling. We are the only ones that provide 3D soil maps that provide a spatial coverage and a hardware-free, lab analysis-free. And therein lies our advantage. We are currently a team of 10 people, including 4 interns, and we have 4 partners from industry and academia, as you see here. We are currently raising our seed round, 2.5 million euros. That's nothing extraordinary, but we want to do something really extraordinary with this money. We want to be the Google Analytics of soil. Thank you very much.
Any startup today that didn't have like super technology, AI, analytics, you name it. So jury members, what's it going to be? Anybody online or from the face-to-face? This is our last startup, last chance. No questions, speechless, huh? All right. So that wraps up the startup competition. You had 4 amazing legal tech startups and 2 of the winners of our venture days in New York for marketing and in Germany for sustainability. And now we're going to start, before we tell you the winners, with our keynote. Our last keynote, which will be part keynote, part discussion, with Alejandro Torino, who's the managing partner at ESIJA. And he's also the director of the Masters in Legal Tech at IE Business School, IE Law School. He's going to talk about the present and future of legal tech. Alejandro, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of the jury, of course, and also to give this keynote speech. Basically, I would like to approach to one concept that we are discussing about, which is legal tech, trying to identify what we understand by legal tech, and also mixing that with some other terms very close and related to legal tech, meaning new law and also innovation in the legal industry. Let me start by quoting Richard Susskind, which is probably one of the most relevant gurus in the legal sphere. He said a few years ago that over the next 2 decades, the way in which lawyers work will change radically. Well, I definitely agree with that assumption, and I will say that myself, that I am professor at IE, I am also a practitioner, and I see every single day how everything is different and very different from the past, and also from the traditional way lawyers used to do their work. Okay, but first of all, I would like to focus on the term legal tech. For some people, legal tech is what we have checked today. Vendors or software companies providing and producing software for the legal scenario, either public administration, corporate councils, law firms, or whatever. But basically, a tech for law. There is another approach which I support, which is a bigger approach to legal tech term, meaning not only tech for law, but also law for tech. And I am trying to put the stress on that because I couldn't understand actual practice of law without understanding technology. So those lawyers nowadays who are not familiar with technology, who do not feel comfortable in this technology world we are living at, I guess that probably they are missing a lot of opportunities. Okay, some people, challenge myself. I have been always involved in innovation, and I have been challenged by some of my colleagues saying, "Wow, but legal tech or innovation in this sector is not that important. Who minds legal tech?" Well, we could say that along 2018, more than 1 billion was invested in legal tech companies. We have seen very relevant vendors. We have seen very relevant startups going through some important fundraising, some of them important amounts like $500 million, being invested by venture capitals, by big fours, by law firms, and, well, of course, some of them by this family of friends and fools. So I would say definitely that many companies nowadays are putting their eyes on these new players, these newcomers who are changing the rules within the legal sector.
Alejandro.
Just to put some examples over the table, I would say that some, for instance, Big Four, I remember EY, maybe 1 year or a couple of years ago, EY acquired Riverview Law. Riverview Law is a legal tech company that was acquired by, for a large amount of money by EY, because EY understood that the way to be more efficient, to provide added value to their client was by introducing technology to their processes. So this is also a way of being understanding the importance of this new ecosystem.
Alejandro.
But if we...
Yes, Alejandro.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I know that you have been ranked as one of the top 10 innovative lawyers in Europe by the FT, and also in the top 100 in the world by Forbes. We heard today a lot about AI in legal tech. Maybe you can tell us, because when I heard AI, I thought, are machines ever going to replace lawyers? So
well,
tell us about, where do you see the future of AI in legal tech?
Wow, I would love a machine doing my work and get my payroll being at home, but I don't guess that that would be the future. Probably all these technologies that we are dealing with, like AI, like blockchain, like machine learning, and some others, will help lawyers to better perform our work. I actually do not feel that Watson, Ross, or any software that is or will be developed at any vendor will replace lawyers. I will understand that lawyers will be using and will be, in some way, having new tools by means of including technology in our processors. This is not from myself. It is. I don't know the author of this sentence, but I like it, saying that only those lawyers behaving as robots will be replaced by robots. What lawyers need to do nowadays and in the near future probably is trying to provide added value to clients. If we provide added value, our job will be waiting for us. If otherwise we just try to do the same as we did 10 years ago or in 10 years' time, well, we are out of the market.
And tell me, another question that we also get all the time with respect to legal tech is legal tech is going to make law services more accessible to the masses. Does that mean that legal costs will go down?
I don't think so. From ancient times, lawyers exist. And I will probably assume that lawyers will be needed in the future. But my view is that lawyers will be having different skills or will be requested to have different skills as they used to have in the past. I remember this belongs to Antonio Garrigues. He said that there were like two types of lawyers a few years ago. Those who who knew law and those who could speak English. So nowadays, you can also feel that there are lawyers who know law and also lawyers who know technology. In the near future, I am sure that lawyers will be needed, but lawyers will need to speak many languages. Lawyers will need to be comfortable dealing with new technologies, and of course, be very open-minded to be very close to innovation in our industry and follow the path that our clients are showing us.
Okay. Another question that we had from some students and with some professionals is, one of the things that sometimes people complain about in the law services is that there's very little transparency of the costs associated with services. Do you think legal tech is going to change that?
Well, we are. We are in an actual transformation in the way law firms charge their services. We have come from a place where it was very familiar for us to charge on an hourly basis. We still have many clients asking for a set way, but we also have a lot of new clients asking for a different scheme in the way we charge our work. Definitely legal tech companies, some of them are working very close to provide transparency to clients by means of including transparency in our timesheets, for instance, also in some ways where we can work in some cooperative systems and tools so that the client can check in real time what is the time incurred in their work. But let me say something, Paris. I mean, I have been involved in technology in my whole life. I would say that I love technology, but innovation and transparency is not 100% related to technology. Behavior is 100% important, and also the way our lawyers face the new situations and how new competitors are planning the rules, and also how the clients approach us will define the future for us in the way we charge our work.
Okay, Alejandro, thank you so much for this amazing talk. I think everybody that's listening to this probably realizes very well why IE Law School is one of the most innovative law schools in the world. And I think the 4 startups that we saw today with these venture days clearly shows that you guys are walking the talk, as they say. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. And now for the most exciting moment that we've all been waiting for, the winners. So, Soledad, you're going to join me here? As you remember, we had 4 amazing legal tech startups from different places of the world, and we had 2 venture day startups. Soledad is going to have the honor of presenting the winner of the legal tech startup, and I'm going to mention the IE Venture Day startup. So, drums. Do we have drums? No, we don't have drums. Okay.
Paris, I am thrilled to announce that the winner of the competition Global Legal Tech Startups today is from Australia, Dispute Resolution Solving.
Yes, you heard it. From Australia, the winner.
Congratulations.
Okay, can we have a few words from the winner, please?
For that recognition. It means an awful lot to us. It's actually 4 o'clock in the morning here in Sydney.
So you deserve it,
whoever
Joe.
Said that,
you definitely deserve it.
Whoever said, yeah, whoever said that startups do the average 9 to 5, but it's been a real journey, and it's amazing seeing the quality of the legal tech startups that we've seen from all around the world, and it's very humbling for us to get that recognition. When the team wakes up tomorrow, I'll send them a message, and I'm sure everyone's going to be super thrilled, and we really look forward to seeing what else is in store on this journey. But thanks very much for having us and recognizing us. It means an awful lot. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Joe, get some sleep. All right. Okay, and now for the winner of our International Venture Days. If you remember, we had one from New York, Marketing Venture Day, and we had one from Germany, which was our Sustainability Venture Day. And the winner is, this is going to be like the Oscars, okay? Marpipe from New York. Daniel Pinello. Congratulations, big guy. You got some words for us?
Thank you, guys. That was unexpected. I thought the startup solving, that was, thank you guys for recognizing us. And this was the experience at New York City Martech Venture Day has been incredible for our business ever since we did it. And this has been just a really awesome experience. I.e., what you guys are doing is absolutely incredible. You guys are nurturing the startup ecosystem from the grassroots level. So thank you so much for putting on this programming and putting this all together. And if you guys want to run off some ads, go to martech.com.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Well, Soledad, I think we've given witness to the world that your law school is definitely in the bleeding edge.
I think we have. So Legaltech, iLaw School, the Law Schools Global League, this amazing competition, Legaltech Venture Days. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the winners, the finalists, and all of the participants.
Okay, and with that, we want to say thank you very much. Hope you join us again tomorrow for more of South Summit. Remember, what do entrepreneurs see in uncertainty? And we're all living in a very uncertain world right now. Opportunity. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you.